Hello, welcome back. I am so glad that you made it today. I know sometimes just getting online, clicking a link, and watching a video all comes with a little bit of an obstacle. And so I congratulate you today for being here and for joining me. I made this video just for you. In fact, I created Senior Savvy so that older people could learn the tech skills that they need in order to excel in today's world. Well, today I have a wonderful workshop planned for you, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The screen sharing option is down below in your meeting toolbar in Zoom. And it is a feature of Zoom, and I love to teach that in my Zoom workshops. Well, great. Right now you're seeing a full picture of my family. Before I launch into today's topic on Zoom etiquette and best practices, I want to introduce myself. My name is Abby. I'm the founder of Senior Savvy. I started Senior Savvy in 2018. It's truly the marriage of two things I love: all things tech and helping older people. You see, I grew up with my Nana and Papa, and I have a deep love and admiration for older people. It's why I do what I do. And up until very recently, my kiddos were home with me every day. And last year was a huge shift for all of us, right? But mostly, I would say for you, you have done so much excellent work getting onto Zoom and learning things so that you can connect with your family and friends. Zoom has become a part of our everyday, right? It's how we meet up with our family. It's how we sometimes are having our book clubs, and it's how we connect with friends from across the country. But what I want to teach you today, I want to teach you some best practices and the right type of Zoom etiquette. Now, I know that this Zoom video platform plopped on our desks, right, about a year ago, and we all just assumed that we knew how to do it. And there were no instructions, there was no handout, there was no formal education on it. We just all had to get on there and start working on it. Well, today I want to teach you all about interacting on Zoom and the right way to do it. I know that many of my clients are traditional learners, and you like to have a class with an introduction, and I love to teach that to you. I always like to know how long you've been on Zoom. For me, 1 year, that's it. And about how many meetings are you having every week on Zoom? For me, maybe 8. Do you ever take any other classes on Zoom? I know I do. I sign up for them, and this way I could just hop on without having to leave my office. I love it for that reason. I have done many family parties on Zoom. I know you have too. We all went through that whole wacky year of having no family get-togethers. And also, what do you like about Zoom? For me, I love the fact that I can stay at home and meet people regularly. I don't have to leave. I don't have to travel. I can be there for my kiddos. In fact, my daughter got sent home from school because there was a COVID outbreak. So I'm just glad that I can be at home and take meetings and continue to do the work that I love doing. Today's outline, we're going to cover things that you can do before your Zoom meeting, during your meeting, and after your Zoom meeting. First, let's start with before your meeting. We're going to talk about two areas. The first one is the tech check, and the second one is a set check. Now, before your Zoom meeting, what I want to encourage you to do every time is to check your check. I said that wrong, to check your tech, okay? And the reason being is that you want to make sure that your audio is in the right place. Now, for me, there are times where I might go between using earbuds and sometimes I use a microphone. So I really switch it up based on the meeting I'm having, as well as if anyone else is in the room with me, I will put on some earbuds. So I want you to go ahead and test your audio. Make sure that you got your volume up, make sure that you can be heard and hear. There's one other setting I want to bring to your attention down here, and that is that you can suppress background noise. Now, I have mine on a medium setting. Sometimes my kiddos are here, they're doing school from home. Right now I hear birds outside, and because I'm in Scottsdale, there's always a landscaper blowing leaves, right? So you can also suppress any background noise. You hear those birds? I can. They sound lovely. Another thing I want you to check before your meeting is your camera, okay? And make sure that it's been selected and that you have it on high definition. I always like to mirror my video, so my left is my left and my right is my right. It just helps me to keep things organized. And now I do use a different camera than what came built into my computer, because the one in my computer just wasn't working that well. I wasn't having a clear enough picture. And that's something that you can do. You can order a better webcam so that you have a clear picture. They range in price from $25 to $95. And if the one in your computer is not working well, you can get another external webcam that you plug in. Here are two other features I love to teach you. The first one is to touch up your appearance. Now, what that does is it just puts a little filter on your face. It's almost like you've powdered your nose before your meeting. And I don't know about you, but I could use all the help I can get. The second one here is adjust for low light. Now, if you are like me and your office is in the middle of your home and there's no natural lighting, like I have right now, no natural lighting, I like to adjust for low light to bring more light into my camera lens. And you can do that too. Here's an example of that touch up my appearance. So the one on the left is with touch up. She's powdered down. You don't see too many wrinkles. And then the one on the right is without it. And so she's just a little shinier. It's small, but mighty. The next thing I want you to do is to check your set, to take a look around you, just check your set. Make sure there's nothing too distracting behind you. I will tell you, I see a whole lot of stuff going on in the background when I'm having my workshops, and it's distracting. And you want people to be focused on you, not the papers that are falling off the side of the desk, not what's on your bookshelves and just trying to read those titles. No, you want to clear it out, right? Because this is your set behind you. And when you're having a meeting, you just want to be able to focus on the person who is talking. And likewise, you want them to be able to focus on you. Now, these are 3 screenshots of random people. I don't even know their names, but I like the fact that nothing distracting is happening behind them. It's neat, it's tidy, and I can really focus on what they're saying instead of obsessing that they need to clean up. Now, you know what, behind me, like I said, I've got kiddos. I almost always got to go back there and straighten up those pillows. Somehow they always end up on the floor almost every day. My husband would say, just get rid of them, but I like, I like them. Plus, my mother's an interior designer, and she has a vested interest in making sure everything looks tip top around here. Okay, also before your meeting, you want to check your lighting. And the very best type of lighting is natural indirect lighting. So if you can have your Zoom meeting near a window, whoo, you're already doing well. If not, I want you to consider bringing a lamp maybe to the side of your desk. I have one right over here. I also have another one right up here. And I do this so that I bring in more natural looking lighting. So you want to make sure that you don't just have one side light or half of your face will be shadowed, or overhead light, because that just looks really awful. So you want to play around with that a little bit and find the right lighting. Next step. Now, I teach this tip all the time. And here it is. Most often, the camera in your computer or your device is going to be a lot lower than your eye level. And that means that people are going to get a very unflattering look up your nose. No one except your ENT wants to be looking up your nose, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to prop up your device. You can stick it on a bunch of books. You can get a riser for your computer. I have a very similar setup here to what's on the left. You know, I also use one of those cube tissue boxes too. Sometimes if I want to prop up my iPad and rest it on there, it is just the right height for this type of monitor lift. And truly, when you're considering this, here's what I want you to keep in mind. Our Zoom meetings are about connecting, right? And so we need to be looking at the camera. Now, in my case, it's up here. I'm going to bring my finger. There it is. Okay. You want to keep your eye on the camera. And oftentimes what I do is I've got this picture of my folks up there and I tape it right up there. And what it does is it reminds me to keep my eye up there. That's where the connection is taking place. And when you're on Zoom, you need to have this connection. Okay. Now here's an example of what I was talking about just a minute ago of elevating your device so that you are on eye level with your camera. And you can tell in the example on the left, we're looking up her nose, and that is not flattering. So make those little adjustments. Now we're going to talk about in-meeting tips. And I want to show you a couple of things that I share with my workshop students all the time. Number one, mute yourself during a meeting so no one hears your phone ringing, the doorbell, all that wonderful stuff. That mute button, it will always be in the bottom left corner. Next, please keep your video on. There's a word for this. There's a word for this type of person who turns their video off during a meeting, and they are called lurkers. All right. And I will tell you that it adds so much to the meeting when you have your camera on. It really does. I know you're there. I know you're engaged. I don't care if your hair's, if you're having a bad hair day, it doesn't matter to me. I want to see you and make a connection with you. Next, I want to teach you about how to chat and interact during a meeting. And this is how you do this. Down at the bottom of your Zoom meeting bar, there is something that's called reactions. And I want you to click there. And then from there, you can see that there are various reactions. Now I'm going to go ahead and put up a reaction right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a heart. Now that heart, it's just going to stay up there for a couple minutes. It lets your host know you love what they're doing or you feel for them. Okay. And if you're in a meeting and you want to let them know, thumbs up, I'm tracking with you, I like what you're saying, you would do the thumbs up. Now those reactions, they only stay up there for 5 to 7 seconds and then they go away. There's another reaction though that stays up there longer. And this one is the hand raise. This stays up until either you take it down or until your host takes it down for you. And this way, you don't have to be waving your hand. You don't have to worry that your host doesn't see that you have a question. It stays up there until they take it down for you. So I would love to see you start using some of those reactions to communicate with the other people in your meeting. That's how we do it. Another feature is to chat, okay? So when you're doing a chat in a meeting, the chat feature is down in the bottom of your meeting toolbar. You can click there and then this pop-up window appears. And there you can send a you can send a message to everyone. You can also just send a message to one person in your meeting. It's a nice way of communicating, saying, hey guys, I have to leave early. I've got a doctor's appointment, or just welcoming your friend. After your meeting, here are some things that I want you to do. I want you to update your Zoom. Zoom comes out with a new update almost every 3 weeks, okay? So you want to go ahead and check for updates after the meeting, not before the meeting. You also want to see what the new features are, because Zoom is constantly refining its process. There are new features, filters, some studio effects, some virtual backgrounds that you can incorporate. So yeah, there are a lot of things that come along with the updates. Not to mention, it's going to continue to keep your Zoom meetings functional. All right, nothing's worse than signing on to a meeting and not having your reactions available to you or the other screen features. Now, as we wrap up today, I am here to answer any of your questions. I'm going to put my email address on the next slide, and I want you to take note of it because I love hearing from you. All right, you can email me, you can call me, and I will get back to you. So if you have any questions, like if you can save a chat, yes, you can save a chat in Zoom. If you have to leave early, you can send a chat and let everyone know, I got to leave a little early today. That's preferable than announcing it to the group. You can also record a meeting if you want to. I record all of my workshops. This way, I can send them to my students afterwards, and they can start and stop the meeting as needed. Now, if you do want to record a meeting, maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's a baby shower, let your host know beforehand so they can make the necessary setting adjustments before the meeting begins, because it's not easy to create a recording without notice, all right? And if there's anything else, I want you to reach out to me. There is my email address. There's my phone number. I love to get your questions. They make my day. You'll also find my contact information on our website. And I'm going to go ahead right now and stop my share and come back and just say thank you. Thank you for joining me today. It is my honor and my utmost gratitude to serve you. And I absolutely